Howdy, everybody in YouTube land. What we have in front of us today is yet another Macintosh Portable. Now, the history of this machine is unknown. This board was handed to me by another repair technician at VCF East 2023, but I don't know what's going on with it yet. From what I understand, there's some kind of a RAM error, but I don't know any more information than that. So, quickly looking over this board, we've got a replacement hybrid circuit that's been on here. There's a couple of different replacements. This is the one that they sell on eBay, which is a different design. I don't know what it's based off of. It might be something unique. And then there's another one that is based off the original design. So, we have that in place. We've got some new capacitors installed. Some of the new style axial leaded caps, which I don't have. I don't think you can get anything other than Illinois capacitor brand anymore. But anyway, so one thing I noticed right away is these two caps are missing. Why, I have no idea, but they are. So aside from that, all the other caps seem to be present. I don't really see any board damage yet. I do see some crustiness down here into the RAM. There's been some work done over here, and there's been some work done here. As far as that, I do not know what we have going on. But I suppose the next course of action is to attempt to fire it up and see what we get. So let me get my power supply turned on, get this set to like 6.2 volts or so, because that's where we need to be. Okay, now we have this Molex connector. I got an old power supply Molex I use for things like this. So yeah, let me get everything wired up. Alright, so let's see what we get going on here. Alright, well, we have a screen. It fired up. Oh, we have a RAM error. 00003FF00. Okay, so now I will say that the diagnostic codes for the Macintosh Portable RAM is something to be desired for. So we do know that we have a problem there, at least. What I don't know is which chip is bad. So the first thing I'm going to do is I've run into RAM errors before with the Macintosh Portables in the past. What I do not know is if I did a video on it or not. But I'm going to set the screen out of the way so I can see what's going on, because I'm going to turn the power back on. Reset the PMGR. Refire it up. There we go. It's initializing video memory. It's already done. We should get the same error, and we do. So what I'm going to do, step one for my troubleshooting purposes on something like this is an unknown board that someone else has tinkered with, and I don't know a history. It's going to be harder to deal with. But the one thing I want to do is I want to feel this RAM, and if any one of these chips is getting abnormally hot, like this one right here, that one might be a problem. Because I can feel I'm not noticing anything. I mean, this one's a slightly bit warm, but that could have been me just keeping my fingers on the board from earlier. Those are warm, like they're supposed to, but the RAM should not get warm at all. This is SRAM. The other thing to take notice too, if that fails, which in this case it's going to, is look around to see if there's any visible corrosion or damage on the RAM, because it's usually the first thing in the line of defense that you want to knock out. So I see right here, you see how it looks dull from a distance? There's some corrosion there. So there could be an open trace on either one of those two pins. So, and I'm looking at the rest of them. There's some corrosion down here, and there's some corrosion up here, so we automatically need to check those two. So what I want to do is, I don't think I have a silver Sharpie up here. No, I don't, because otherwise I was just going to mark these two to check. There's some shenanigans going on back here. And this is probably the 9-volt battery, because on a portable you have the main 6-volt, then you got a 9-volt. Someone probably left the 9-volt in there. I've run into open traces on these chips before in the past. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to grab my multimeter and put it on continuity mode, and I'm going to go through the entire RAM array and look for anything that's open. That's going to be the next course of action. So let's charge drain off, and then go ahead and do that next, and I will bring the camera back if I find something. And if we look at the Macintosh Portable schematic, all the lines are basically in parallel with the exception of the chip select lines. So at least we have that to go off of. So that's how we're going to test these. Alright, so one thing I want to point out is, let's see, U3C. Alright, so one thing I want to point out is the data lines are not in parallel. They're parallel with these group of chips, and they're in parallel with these groups of chips, but they're not parallel with each other. Because this is your upper byte, your D8 through D15, and this is your D0 through D7, or your lower byte. So this is your lower 8 bits, and this is your upper 8 bits, giving you 16 bits wide of memory. So when you're testing these, all your D0 through D7 should be in parallel here, and all your D0 and D7 should be parallel here, but not cross between each other. So just keep that in mind. Alright, so I went through all of the connections, even back to these two chips here. They're fine. Everything's fine. So this is the upper block, and this is the lower block. The upper block is what's generating an error. If the SADMAC codes are to be believed, so as soon as I get this thing to turn on, there we go. If the SADMAC codes are to be believed, code 3 is RAM write. FF00 means upper address. So the upper bits are failing. So it's in this block here, and it's all 8 of them failing. So that means this chip cannot be selected. So now I check the chip select signal, which comes from the main glue. It's fine for both the lower and the upper. Also, the actual bank, well, that's the bank select, and then the chip selects themselves come from here, and they're all fine. So one of these, probably multiple of them, one of these is defective. But the question is, which one? And it's defective on write, which means it's trying to write to it and it's not reading back anything. So we have a problem here. So now we got to find out which logic chip is responsible for this besides these two. And if there's any logic in the middle, we'll check it. And if not, then we've got a bad one of these guys. And I've run into them before that are defective. And if I'm going to guess, it's probably the ones closest to the capacitors. Alright, so after a ton of RAM later, I pulled these off of my parts board. These came off of this board. So I knew it was in this bank, so I was doing 2 chips at a time. So it took me several hours to do this. So I changed these 4, still had a problem. Changed these 4 up here, still had a problem. Changed these 2, still had a problem. Although it gave me an E code at that point. I'm like, wait a minute. So I changed the last 2. Changed these last 2 right here. And here we go. It's working. So, of course, I'd start over here where the cap juice was and work all my way around. And of course, it would be the last 2 that were bad. If I started here, I would have got it right away. But instead, somewhere in here was the bad chips. Well, they're laying over here now. I changed this one just in case, which is this guy here, but it's fine. So I'm just going to go ahead and put it into my good pile. But yeah, one of these 8 chips is bad from this section here. So there's the problem. See, now we're all good. Everything's working fine now. So yeah, it was a RAM problem. Alright, now that I went and got my stuff to plug everything in and we got this thing cooled down a bit, we'll go ahead and kick this guy on. And we got a chime. Alright, let's see. Lido serial test Snooper. See if Snooper will run. It might not. I don't know. We're going to find out. Yep, there it goes. Okay, so we're starting up Snooper, which is an 800K image. So it'll work on the oldest of SEs. Alright. Here we go. Snooper. It's kind of hard to see with the glare, but we're going to do printer port. We're going to take that off. We're going to do ADB. I don't have SCSI right now. PRAM, clock, CPU. Start cycle. Here we go. Just going to test the RAM. Whether it'll pass or not, I don't know, because motherboard, there is no bank B. Well, unless it's doing it this way, because this is the lower 0 through 8, and this is 9 through 16 bits. Yeah, of course, because there's no external memory. Okay. Testing 1 megabyte of RAM. Yeah, it's gonna not. Hold on. I have a thought process on that. Where's my mouse? It froze. No, never mind. There it is. Here's what I'm gonna do. I want to end that. And I'm going to go grab a RAM card, shove it in here, because it might be complaining about that. So let me shut the power off and go grab my RAM card. Alright, so let's try this again. This time I have a RAM card, which I don't know. This card's never been used before on none of my machines, so I don't even know if it works. But we're going to find out. Alright, so let's turn it on. Alright. Mount Snooper. Do I have a mouse cursor? Yes. So Snooper's going to fire up. At least it should. Assuming this is any good, I do not know. We about to find out. Because Snooper may not actually work on the Macintosh Portable. It may not be designed to. I wish I could do something about that glare, but I can't. That's the fun about non-backlit portables. Alright, so again, I want to do no SCSI because I don't have a drive, no parallel port, no modem, no ADB. And then we're going to go start cycle. Testing 2 megabyte of RAM. Yeah, that's right. There we go. We're going to see what it does. Nope. Fail. Ouch. PRAM test passed, which I wouldn't figure it wouldn't because it's stored in this. Yeah, it's kind of... RAM test did not pass properly, so it makes me wonder. Snooper may not work with the Macintosh Portable properly. It's hard to say. But if the RAM test would have failed, I would have got a SAD Mac just like before, right? So Makes me wonder. Well, I tell you what. Here's how you find out. You start up System 7, which I don't know if I have System 7 on this thing. I'm gonna kill that. So yeah, it says Macintosh Portable. I mean, info. Let's see. Benchmark. No. RAM preferences. Let's see what it shows. Just, it doesn't really give me a... Yeah, it's not really telling me anything. Let's view report. Let's see if it's gonna show. It'll say Snooper test report. Now, SCSI bus test failed, of course. RAM test. My question is, why did it fail? This is the only thing I don't like about Snooper is it does not tell you why or where it failed. It just says failed. Yeah, that's useless in 2023 because you need to be able to, let's see. Let's try that. Zero operating on Macintosh Portable. Doesn't really tell me much. 87%. It shows all 2 megabytes of RAM, so I don't know why. Yeah, that's weird because there is no bank B. Because I had this problem on an SE30 if you've seen my earlier videos. So I don't think the RAM test on Snooper is actually very good. I really don't think it is. So what I want to do is stop this machine. Kill this program, let it shut down. Shut down. And we're going to fire it back up. Figure out which pins it are, because there's only a certain section of pins that'll actually work. Alright, yeah, it does not have... I need to go grab my other floppy MU, because I have another floppy MU that has some system disk images on there. So, yeah, let me go grab that real quick. Alright, so... take that one out. This is from a different image, directly from him. Alright, see if it'll read it. Let's see, Apple Macintosh stuff. Utilities. There's not really anything in there. System disks. System 7.1. Nope. Disk tools. Here we go. 7.1. That's going to use all 2 megabytes of RAM, so I'll know if there's a problem just by that alone. It's probably going to take a long time to start up. running System 7.1 disk tools. 753 might be a stretch on 2 megs of RAM. Although that would be interesting to see if it would run with 2 megs of RAM. Yeah, we know. Oh, really? Is it going to be a pain? I think it's a bad disk image. It's interesting because it thinks it's floppy image thinks it's locked, which it actually might be. It actually might be. Now, this LCD has tunnel vision, which is why it's my test LCD. Because you can kind of see it starting to fringe up on the corners there. So, yeah, I don't really care. The desktop folder on the start disk cannot be created. Yeah, it's just going to be a pain. So, is it locked? No, it's not. I don't know why it's being weird. Let's see why it's doing that. It's still shut. Oh, come on. Yeah. Anyways, I don't know why the floppy emulator still thinks these discs are read-only. Now, this SD card came with the newer version of the floppy emu, because I bought one just to have another one back when this thing blew up the first time around, but I was able to fix it. So, system disks, system 7.0, 800K, let's try you. Disk tools. Let's try you and see if you give me a problem. I hope not. And yeah, I'm still running it without these 2 caps. It's not my board, and the recap job is being done by someone else, so I'm not worried about it. Alright, so here we go. Ah, really? Why did it say system oh man, it's been so long since I've done this. Yeah, I need a system 7.1 startup disk. System disks. System 7.5. I wonder if the network access disk, here it is. Yeah, it is. Really? How is that not supported? I think someone just like threw a bunch of images on here and said, here you go. This'll work just fine. No. All these are junk. Alright, let's try that one. See if I get the same. It's still thinking it's read-only. Unless it's paying attention to the file attributes, which is entirely possible. I figured someone set this SD card up ready to go for a floppy emu. Nope. Not possible if it keeps throwing weird errors like not supported. It's fine. Ramp mode. Point is, I wanted to see if this board worked. Because if I take that RAM card out, System 7.1 is not going to start. Because it's just going to throw an error. Is it going to work? I'm wondering, because this is System 7.5, which may not work on 2 megabytes of RAM. I don't know. It's really trying its hardest, though. Oh yeah, it's starting. It's just a little pokey on a 68,000 machine versus an 020 or better. Yeah, you really don't want to run anything more than System 7.1 on a 68,000, and System 7.1 is kind of heavy. Ideally, you want System 6 on a 68,000 machine. But you can get away with System 7.0 or 7.1 if you really tried, but System 7.5, yeah, she's a bit heavy. But it's going to use every ounce of RAM it has, and if it has a RAM problem, I would have seen it by now. It would have given me some kind of it would give me a system error bomb or a freeze up or something if there's a problem with the RAM. So I think we're in the clear here. It's just Snooper is just not compatible with it. Kind of wish I had a better diagnostic program. I used to, but I don't know what happened to it. I got it from Charles, aka MacCaps, years ago. Ah, it's fun. But it seems to be working. Alright, so we got disk tools coming up now. Let's figure out what we're running here. How much system? It's going to be taking all of the base memory. Let's see, what do we get? 2 megs, only 979K free. So we're using. No, actually, I'm reading it wrong. That's 1 meg free. So yeah, I'm using pretty much all of the base memory here. So I think we're okay. I think we're going to be fine. So I'm going to shut that down. Wait for it to power down. It did. Remove you. Throw that off to the side. Fire it up again. There we are. So we're going to do that again. Macintosh stuff. And if I try System 7.1 again, it's going to be like, no. It's going to say not enough RAM, I just about guarantee you. Yep. That's what I thought. And that's fine. That's normal. That's normal. So, alright. I think I'm going to call it because the hybrid and all this stuff was done before me, so I don't have any of that to add. But one of these 8 RAM chips, probably 2 of these 8 RAM chips is bad. So I'm going to throw all 8 of those in the junk pile. And we're going to just send this board back. So that's a quick way to troubleshoot the RAM. If you have on a SAD Mac, if you get FFOO, it's in this block here. But if you get OOFF, it's in this block here. So just keep that in mind. And like I said, besides 2 of the pins, they're all in parallel, so you can check them all against here and then back over. And then you can always check the chip select lines, which is in groups of this. They pair up like this, back to this IC here. And that's how you can verify that all the traces are good. In this case, all the traces were fine. It's just one of these 2 RAMs down here were defective. So that's it. If you have a comment, please feel free to leave one. Make sure you don't forget to hit the like and subscribe if you enjoy this kind of content. And until next time, guys, thank you for watching.